Hi there. So we're talking today about boundaries and being comfortable in situations and when it's okay to discuss things like sexual harassment at work and just different boundaries. So welcome into our little conversation here.
Yeah.
So we were talking, me and Leo have been talking the last couple days because she's got her first full-time job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's 18, so unfortunately as women, it's something that we have to live with is being in uncomfortable situations and learning how to deal with them. So I know we're not going to get into like the nitty-gritty details, but just example of something like maybe at work, for the first time working a 40-hour job and you're working with guys and girls and a guy calls you baby, or you say like, oh, I sprained my finger, and he grabs your hand and says, oh, poor thing, and like maybe rubs your finger or something, and just little things like that. And it may be something completely innocent, but if it makes you feel uncomfortable, what should you do about it? So that's kind of like the situations we're kind of talking about. So,
Right.
so just having the conversation.
With that kind of thing, I don't know. I feel like I'm very loudmouthed and confrontational at times. I'll be like, excuse me, don't touch me.
Yeah.
Get out of my bubble. Not that I could do the 6 foot. So
But have you always been like that?
Oh, no.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Oh,
as
yeah.
a girl, as a woman, as a girl, you know, like even get back to junior high days and high school days and your first job and whatever
Right,
it
right.
happens to be. Like,
And there's tons of personalities out there. Some are more vocal, some are more shy, and maybe don't really know what's going on kind of mentality. And then I'm like, I think I'm in the middle because I'm like, no sweat off my back, like it doesn't bother me, you know, until I feel that feeling of, oh no, someone crossed the line. And for everybody it's different. So I think we just have to learn how to, like you said, if you feel uncomfortable, then you probably are uncomfortable.
yeah, then something should happen. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, you should go to the next stage.
Right.
And then it's interesting because we were talking to the guys, and the guys like perspective, even young guys, like they don't have to deal with sexual harassment as much as women do.
Correct.
Yes, they do. It does happen, but every woman goes through it. It's something that every woman has to like learn how to deal with.
Right.
Whereas guys will be just like, well, tell them to fuck off. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, but that's not always easy for women, especially girls when they're first learning
Right.
Yeah,
this.
it's hard to
you
learn
know?
how to do that.
And you're at a new job, your first job or whatever, and you don't want to get fired for make you seem like you're this girl who's going to be complaining about every little thing, or you know. So
Right.
it's just like those things we think about too.
Yeah, we think about all these
Yeah.
things come flooding, like.
Am I being over paranoid? Am I being dramatic?
Am I
Am
being
I
sensitive?
sensitive? Did he really mean that?
Mhm.
I mean, those are the things we think about. For men, they don't think about none of those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's either completely non-intentional or it's completely intentional.
Right.
So
There's
it's like
black and white, yeah.
you're trying to make sense of what just happened. Like somebody calls you doll face or whatever
Right.
it happens to be. It's like, okay, how do I feel about that? And when it does cross that boundary with you, it's like I grab your hand and I'm like, oh, does that hurt? Does that boo boo hurt? So you're already like being like, ugh.
I was just gonna.
But it could be completely innocent. But the first thing, when your boundaries are crossed, especially the first couple of times in your life,
Mhm.
the first thing your brain does is go, this isn't happening.
Right.
Like, you want to shut it off and
Yeah.
pretend it doesn't exist.
Right.
And then something happens again, like the same person walks by you and goes like this, how you doing?
Right.
You know what I mean? And it could be completely innocent. It could just be that person's personality. They don't mean something sexual by it.
Right.
But if it makes you feel uncomfortable, regardless if it's the meaning or not.
I know, once upon a time I actually got in trouble when I worked at a pizza company. I called people Sunshine in the morning. Good morning, Sunshines! I got in trouble for that, and I was like, didn't realize that was considered sexual harassment. Never do it again. Good morning, assholes. Like,
Right.
but I don't know. It's definitely something where it's like things that can be misconstrued, and guys, you're right, they don't pick up on it. It's either completely intentional, like, hey, creepy, or it's a like, oh, I didn't realize that was like, that it was coming off as creepy, like, don't be so sensitive.
Right, right. Or it's somebody like totally old school, like, you know, like your grandpa that's looking at you like a little kid and like wants to take care of you, but it's not, work's not necessarily the appropriate place for that.
I had a security guard call me little lady the other day at work. Well, I told him that it was illegal to lock egress points, and he said, you know, little lady, it's gonna be okay. And I was like,
so yeah, I think it's really important that people, especially growing up, that you know, like, it's okay to have boundaries and to say like things, like to come up with things that you can say that show that you're uncomfortable with something, like like.
And you don't even, sometimes you don't even have to say anything. It could be like, Sam's grabbing my shoulder and I'm like, oh, hi, you know, like,
Like,
I
that's
pull
not
away.
okay. You're showing your body.
I'm like showing
language.
you, or
Okay.
if you like to grab my hand, I'm like, oh yeah, how are you, you know? And I'm still in contact with her, but I'm not letting her touch me or
Right.
whatever,
And it's okay to say I'm not a touchy-feely person, except unless you're like a really close like family member or something. To me, it's okay to like think of things like that to be able to say to someone. And if you're really uncomfortable with somebody, it's okay to like walk across the store and say, I have to go do something over here.
Right,
You know?
get out of the situation, sadly.
I hate that having to wear mask things, because usually I can demonstrate my feelings completely off of my face. And as soon as you cover my mouth, people really are just like, eyes. We don't see the like snarl that's going on. Like, don't touch me, don't come near me.
I smile at people at stores to be nice, and I'm like, you can't see me.
I'm like smiling at them. I'll like see a little old personal smile.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, you can't
Oh, you can't see me.
You can't see me smiling.
I'm just intensely staring at you.
They're like, why is she staring?
So yeah, I mean, what do you guys think about like talking to the teenage girls out there and maybe some college girls, like this maybe has never happened to them, or maybe it's happened to them a couple times and they don't know like how to handle it?
Well, I think being open with a friend or a family member is always good, to kind of talk it out and kind of like see their point of view of what happened, like, and then like you were telling her too, if you feel uncomfortable, like, no, trust that feeling, because generally it's gift of fear, it's telling you something. So that's what I would say, just trust that gut feeling and remove yourself from that situation, and don't feel bad. Don't feel bad for the people who make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, don't feel bad about feeling uncomfortable.
Right.
Like, just because it's unintentional, maybe you find out it's unintentional, but you still feel that way.
Right.
So it's okay to feel uncomfortable and to say something to somebody if behavior doesn't stop.
Right.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about with like running scenarios, like with kids. Like, okay, I'm gonna run to the store real quick. What happens if a vagrant comes up to the car? Obviously, you don't roll the windows down. Maybe running that kind of scenario with friends, family.
Making a plan. We talked about that, like having those like 3 or 4 excuses in the back of your head as to what you would say to someone. Say, the creepy guy or somebody that you think might be a creepy guy says, hey, can you give me a ride home from work?
Right.
What is your excuse? Like, I don't let, it could be anything. I don't let strangers in my car, or maybe my seatbelt's broken, or like whatever.
Sorry, I don't have time. I have something I'm doing.
Yeah. Just have those things lined up so that you have a plan for those types of situations that happen all the time.
Right. Yeah, I've had like one weird situation happen, but it was totally fine. But like I just knew, like I was at a hot tub store and they're like, oh, you wait till you see this hot tub, and then he was leading me, into this room, and I was like, oh shoot, you could kill me. And I even said that to him, like, you can murder me back. Are you gonna murder me? Like, so I kept my distance because I was even like, where are we going? So I let him lead the way really far and show me, like, oh yeah, that's great. I'm not going in there with you, you know?
Because you were by yourself.
Because I was by myself with him, and I'm like, okay, that could have been really bad had I.
And your gut feeling just told you.
Yeah, where are we going? Yeah. And it was totally innocent, and he wasn't trying to do anything, but there was always a potential, so.
Yeah, you should, I mean, who knows how many times that people have saved their own lives or friends have saved their friends' lives.
Right.
At bars or
Yeah,
whatever.
come with me,
you know?
come over here, yeah.
Yeah. The statistics are easy to find when a crime actually happened, but you can't find the statistics on how many times we've saved other people,
Yeah,
you know?
or saved yourself, you know.
Right, or saved yourself, gotten out of a situation that could have been something, but.
Yeah, and also if if the viewers have stories, like we'd love to hear those.
Yeah, absolutely, if you have anything out there.
So we can kind of put a statistic
Mhm.
number on it.
And have a discussion about that. So, never feel like it's your fault if something happens, and you never feel like your feelings are wrong. If you have a gut feeling about something and something makes you feel uncomfortable, it's okay to say that it made you feel uncomfortable, and if it's a work situation, to go to your boss and say, hey, this happened, it made me feel uncomfortable, so if it's okay with you, I'm going to tell you if something else happens, or maybe you can talk to that person and tell them it's not okay to have that kind of behavior at work, those kind of things. Number 2?
Definitely making sure you're listening to your gut, not just trying to shove it down and deny. The first 5 stages of grief, or denial is the first one, and while this isn't necessarily a grief kind of situation, that denial initially is going to really not be helpful in the long run, because you're just going to try and deny it and no, it's fine, and then all of a sudden it could explode into something bigger or keep continuing. And
Yeah, ask your friends and family and loved ones for advice and help through it, because that's your support system.
Yeah, talking about it's always good. And set healthy boundaries at work and wherever you are. Grocery stores even, if someone's close to you, and okay, I'm gonna move a little further away from you. Just set healthy boundaries.
Yeah. And
people usually will respect them,
Yeah, if you make it very clear,
yeah.
Make your boundaries clear. And then, what was the other one I was just thinking of? We just talked about it.
I don't know what you're talking about. What?
Planning.
Oh yes, that was it. So
Wow.
planning. So making sure that you have a plan for different situations. It could be any scenario.
An excuse.
Having excuses or a plan on what you're going to say, or the things that you can say to get you out of a situation.
Go-to lines. Practice them in the mirror.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't want to be the mean person, or they think it's not okay to lie in a situation that makes you feel uncomfortable. But those things are definitely okay in this type of situation. Saying that you have somewhere to be because you don't want to give somebody a ride home, that's definitely an okay thing to do in that situation where you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
All right, so that's that discussion, and hopefully we will be back with more. If you guys out there think about anything that you want us to talk about, let us know. Jot us a note. DM us.
Bye.
See you later. Be your own hero.
Be warrior forged.